What's going on, my trainer club? Today we are going to check out my top tips to help you max out on the community day for the Trapinch in Pokemon Go. So you know what time it is. Welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, how are you feeling about the Trapinch community day? Are you excited for the bonus, which is going to be the XP? And where are you sitting for the Flygon? So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're gonna start out with the details because I wanna make sure that you guys max out on this day, not only because it's a really cool shiny in my opinion, but also because the Flygon is a very beastly PvP Pokemon. So for all you PvP players out there, this is going to be your community day. So here we go. We are going to start off with the details. So it's going to be on October 12th, which is going to be Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in whatever time zone you are. I'm gonna put an asterisk here because there have been EX raids that have been distributed during this time frame. So unfortunately, my EX raid is going to be from 1 to 145, but fortunately, it is in an area that I typically play at. So there is a good in that we can basically play. When the EX raid shows up, I will probably head right over there, make it very quick, hopefully get a shiny Shadow Ball Mewtwo, and keep my gacha playing in the background so it can constantly be playing, catching for me while I'm doing the EX raid. So that's a very good strategy to do while you're doing it. And remember, if you're in a big group, you can always start the Mewtwo raid and start to walk off, right? As long as you don't die out with your party of 6, you are going to be good and gravy to continue to walk and catch with the gacha in the background. So the highlight of this event is going to be the bonus, which is going to include 3 times catch XP. So for anybody that is not a level 40, or for anybody that has a certain type of XP goal, utilizing lucky eggs for the entire time is definitely something that we are going to check into to make sure you are prepped and ready to go. And the official community day move for Flygon is not the Dragon Breath as all of the PvP fanatics had hoped. It is actually going to be Earth Power. So Earth Power, from a PvP and PvE standpoint, may not be the most optimal move, but we will definitely check out a best of the best to see where the Flygon sits. But as of right now, Earth Power is the community day exclusive move for the Flygons. And the shiny Trapinch is very differential from the normal one, so it's going to be pretty easy to spot. As soon as you see it, you will not be looking at it like, is this a shiny? It is very different, and I like all of the shiny family line in this one. I think they're really cool, so it's definitely something that I am excited for. I'm going to be going in with some pineapple berries because Trapinch isn't all that common. I know that we used to hatch a ton of them in the 10K eggs, but they no longer really hatch. So I'm going to stock up on all this candy just to be prepared for the future if it ever has more relevance to me as a player. Now we're going to start breaking down the top tips, starting with the pre, then the during, and then the after. But starting off with tip number 1 is going to be encompassing everything that you're going to need going into this event. So we need to clear our bag space out. Think about your old community days. How many Pokemon do you typically catch? I am gonna go in with probably 400 spaces in my bag. And then we're thinking about our items. Think about it like this. How many have you caught? I would add an extra 100 balls. For me, I'm definitely gonna be going in with about 400 to 500 combined Great and Ultra balls. The reason why I do that is because the red balls obviously have the least catch boost to them, right? So it's easier for me and it takes a lot less time if I'm going with Great and Ultra balls to utilize these guys. And then during that day, while I'm spinning stops, I'm gonna be pushing up my red ball count so that when the day is over, I have really high red ball count, and then I can use my gacha quite frequently after this event. As far as the berries go, you definitely want to have some golden raspberries or at least some raspberries to help you catch shinies. Silver pineapple berries would also be a good thing, so then you can get double the candy and you can have an increased catch because it's above the red raspberry, but it is below the golden raspberry, which is a pretty good berry to have, especially on these shiny community days. The other thing you're gonna have to want is the pineapple berries. Check out how much Trapinch candy you have. I wouldn't say it's one that we're gonna be maxing a ton like a Metagross or like a Dragonite or a Salamence or anything like that, but it's definitely good to just stack up on as much candy as you can, because in the future, these things could always become super rare with all the generations added in, and you never know, maybe if you need a couple more Flygons for PvP or something like that. I can't guarantee, but it's always better to be more prepped than less prepped in Pokemon Go and to try to foresee what the future may hold for your gameplay. And then that brings us into tip number 2, which is going to be having your premium items set up to maximize on all of the bonuses that are included. Obviously, the lure modules are going to go for 3 hours, which brings us, what lure modules do we use? So officially, unofficially, the boosted and the premium lure modules, including the mossy, the magnetic, and the glacial lure modules, do not technically spawn ground Pokemon. However, if I were to gander a guess at this and say which of these would boost the ground Pokemon the most, I would go with the mossy lure. The magnetic does boost the rock, but I would say the mossy, since it has grass, has the better potential to utilize this. So if you guys want to test this out, I'm not saying go gung-ho and buy these, but I'm saying that they do spawn Pokemon more frequently, and since it's community day, they're going to be spawning more of the Trapinches at a more frequent rate. So having one or two at a dead spot in your area is not really that bad of an idea. It definitely sounds like something that could be promising to help you out catch more. And as far as our premium items go, we are going to need 6 of whatever we are using. If you have an abundance of the star pieces such as I do, I definitely am going to be using a star piece every 30 minutes, which comes down to setting timers. You have to set a timer, I would say for 11, 11:30, 12, 12:30, 1, 1:30, 2. The reason why I would set it as 2 is because that's going to signify the event is basically over. But the highlight of this event is going to be the XP bonus. I only have 1 lucky egg. I'm not going to buy more lucky eggs. I have quite a lot of XP, so I'm just going to utilize just the 3 times catch XP during this. But like I said, if you're not a 40 or you have an XP goal, maybe it's 100 million, you're getting close, whatever that is to you, this is a great time to utilize the lucky eggs and combining it with the friendship bonuses, which is definitely going to be something that I recommend that you do beforehand so you can get it out of the way, unless the player that you are coordinating with is in a different time zone. Then you may have to do it at like 1 p.m. because for me, if I was coordinating with the West Coast, 1 p.m. is 11 p.m. for them since I'm in Central Time Zone right now. But if you're running the eggs the entire time, it won't be a problem. But if not, you're gonna have to time it up and remind yourself to put a lucky egg on at that specific time to make sure that you time them up. But preferably, you would push them all in the beginning of the event, because if you do that, it's going to be more lucrative and it's gonna be easier so that you can continue to spin stops. The other thing I would suggest doing during this is definitely taking some time, maybe every 30 minutes, but hopefully before then, to go ahead and send out your gifts to your players in your friendships so that you could get lucky friends, or you could rank up your friendship, or whatever that's going to be, to your players on your friends list. Which is then going to lead us to the tip number 3. So make sure not, and I know, not, what are you talking about? Don't catch Pokemon right before the event starts, and preferably 30 minutes before the event starts, because some spawns are about an hour long. Could be 45 minutes, 30 minutes, because once the event hits and it turns to 11 a.m., all of these spawns could switch over into Trapinch. So we don't want to catch like Pidgeys. I know I love Pidgeys too, but we don't want to catch other things that are going to change over into Trapinches as soon as the time hits 11 a.m. Also, do not complete any of the tasks at the local Pokestops you're going to be hitting frequently, because they're going to change over into Trapinch tasks, which are going to give you the Great Balls, the Ultra Balls, and the Pineapple Berries, which is definitely easy tasks to do and stuff that you want to max out as much as possible, because it's going to replenish your resources while you are playing. I would also suggest making sure to be in a gym outside of the area, meaning not a very high densely populated gym that's going to be fought quite frequently. You want to be away from where you're going to be, because you want to have a place that you could remote berry feed, because I don't want your bag, your items bag, getting too full while you're playing and then you can't get any more resources from the stops that you are passing. That's definitely a no-go. So have a Pokemon in a gym, hopefully with 6 players, that you can remote berry feed so you don't have to dump your berries and you can save up on your Stardust. And also, it's great to have less in your bag, because during this day you want to be able to spin stops as much as possible. Number 1, to complete all the tasks, and number 2, to get more items to keep you ahead of the game, because oftentimes we're calculating, okay, we're going to catch 400, but that doesn't account to the fact that some of them are going to be dodging balls, jumping over balls, attacking during the middle of the throw, that you're going to waste a couple balls on some of these Pokemon. And as far as the EX raids go, obviously, hopefully it's going to be in a downtown, densely populated place, right? You always want to be playing in populated areas that have a ton of Pokestops, that have great, relatively condensed loops, and have a lot of lucrative options, including the normal spawns, as well as when there's lured, they're going to be boosted, like at Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago, something like that, that is going to be an optimal place to play as much as possible. So hopefully, wherever your EX pass is, it's in a place that you can also do Trapinch Community Day, because I would hate for you guys to have to drive 20 minutes during the middle of Trapinch Community Day. But if you do have to do this, I would suggest to have your gacha on during the entire time, so that when you're driving, not consciously playing, background playing, that your Pokemon can still pick up some shiny Trapinches on the way over. But if you're at a local grind spot, like I said in the beginning, the best strategy would be to jump into the raid, to have your gotcha catching Pokemon in the background, and then to walk the typical loop as if you are doing this as well, which gives you the opportunity to continue to catch in the background shiny Pokemon, Trapinches, and everything like that. Which leads us into tip number 4. It's gonna be checking out the 100% IVs and being prepped for everything that is gonna be coming your way. And we have 2 different 100% IVs that we're gonna be looking out for. And you're like, what? And I'm like, yes, we have the PvP 100% IVs, and then we have the normal 100% IVs. And in my opinion, the weight should go on the PvP. So the PvP 100% IVs are going to be 0 attack, 15, and then 9. So 0, 15, 9 is gonna be 100% at level 21.5, evolving into a Flygon. So think about this, you guys absolutely must be appraising almost all of your Trapinches, because the one thing you're gonna look out for is the dust. If it says 2,500, that is a level 20. If it says 3,000, that's a level 22. So you have to be careful of where you're gonna be for the dust ratio, because you don't want it to be over this. So if you got a 0, 15, 9 and it said dust to power up, 4,000, that's gonna be over, once you evolve it, it's gonna be over the CP for the Great League. Check out all of these different IVs to make sure that you know which ones you're getting into, and typically they're gonna be in a level 21 to 20. So I would say 2,500 dust, and check it out for the Great League. And then if you're looking for 100% IVs actually for powering up Pokemon, I'm gonna give you level 30 and level 35. Since Trapinch is gonna be a ground Pokemon, it's gonna be boosted in the sunny weather. If it's sunny weather for the Great League, it's gonna raise the IV floor potentials, and it potentially could kill out on getting a 100% for that. So the 100% IVs for level 30 is going to be 1092, so 1092. And then if it's going to be weather boosted in the sun at level 35, it's going to be 1183, so 1183. Those are the 2 that you look for. If it's not weather boosted, which I'm hoping everybody is not for the sake of PvP, that would be the level 30, the highest one that you can catch. All the other ones, although you can see what these graphics are and what the numbers are, they can always be different, because you could have a level 29 guy with the same 100% IV as level 27, which would then make it not 100% IV, and it may even be like a 40% IV. The best way to do it is to set up the search strings. So for the search strings, you want to do 4-star for the 100% IV. Flygon is going to be a PvP type Pokemon, so if you do happen to start clearing out 0 and 1-star Pokemon, you are definitely going to be missing out on some of the potential Great League Pokemon. So the one that could be safe to clear out would be a 2-star Pokemon, because the Flygon at a 0, 15, 9 is in between a 0 and 1-star. 2-star is going to be directly in the middle. 3-star could get you all the way to a 98%, and then 4-star is going to be the 100%, which you don't want to delete. And then also make sure to have those timers on as soon as they go off. Refresh your items, and definitely remember, if you have an abundance of incenses as I do, I will be putting those on. The faster you can walk with the incense, the faster that you can spawn Pokemon, because if you walk leisurely, it doesn't put a boost on the incenses, but you can walk up to spawning a Pokemon every minute on an incense, depending on how fast you're going. So I don't typically think that you can walk that fast, but you can definitely increase the amount of incense spawns you get the faster that you go, the faster that you walk. So power walking is going to be in your favor. You want to be using the quick catch trick, meaning you're going to be skipping animations so you can catch Pokemon faster. If you want to see the full video, definitely check it out up here, and I'm going to be putting it at the end as well, so you can just get a quick, brief, easy overview of what that's going to be. I am definitely going to be putting out a new one, because I learned in Japan how they really do the next level of the skip animation catch trick to make sure you never even waste one single Pokeball. The next is going to be taking us into tip number 5, which is going to be the post event. And for this particular post event, I am going to encourage you guys, something I haven't done before, to trade with people that are very low on your friends list, if not even on your friends list at all. And here is the reason why we're not trading with a person that is high up on our friends list. The higher you are on the friends list, the higher the IV floor goes. We are looking to try to get a 0 for the attack for PvP. If you're trading with a best friend, you will not be able to get a 0, period. The IV floors are too high. If you want to check out all the IV floors, you can check them out up here, but it's definitely going to be above a 0. So if you're trading with somebody that's maybe a one-day friend, you can have the potential to get a Pokemon. So in this regard, you will have potentials to be able to get your Flygon or your Trapinch, but remember, you want to start towards the bottom of the list when you're trading, because if you start towards the top, although you could get a pretty high IV lucky and a high CP lucky, you're not going to be able to get that Trapinch into the Great League because you want it to be at 2,500 dust. So you have to take into account which Pokemon you're trading. I would start to the bottom middle and trade there and go down rather than trading from the top. And you could trade from the top, but just start there, trade for the PvP Pokemon, and then trade separately with the best friend to try to get luckies. And then obviously you guys want to evolve a bunch of these guys. Make sure to get the community day moves to make sure that you guys are prepped and ready to go. And then if you have 100% IVs, this is going to be the time when you evolve them as well, because it's a Flygon, it's 100%. I know it's not super meta relevant, but it is not a super low tier attacker either. It can do some damage. So that's gonna do it, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure your bag's cleaned out. Make sure your items are ready to go. You have your Pineapple Berries, your Pokeballs, your Great Balls, your Ultra Balls. Everything's ready to go. You have exactly what numbers you are looking for. You have the call outs down. You know where you're doing it. You're in a downtown area. You did not catch the Pokemon beforehand. You have the people set up to trade afterwards, and you are prepped and ready to go. And I know you are, because you just watched this entire video.
Here we go, guys. We are going to learn how to do the quick catch trick in Pokemon Go. So the first thing we need to do is obviously locate a Pokemon. And this works for any type of ball. So go ahead and select the ball you want. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to push down on the ball tray and slide it over. Notice how my finger that pushed down on the ball tray is still on the screen and never lets go of the screen. So then with the other hand, this is going to take two hands. You can then pick the ball up. And notice when I do let go of the ball tray, it is going to pop out like that. So that's basically the premise of what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and use a berry. And then for all the left hand throwing players, you can also do this with the left hand, which you're going to put your right finger over the berry tray, and then you're going to throw with your left finger. So first we're going to do it with the right hand throwing player. So I pull that ball over, I go ahead and wind up, and I let go. And as I let go, you notice, boom, I popped the berry tray open by letting both fingers go, and the run button has popped up in the top left corner, and you go ahead and click that. So it was a little bit difficult to see there, but boom, look, the Oddish is in your bag. So that is the trick and the key. So here we're going to do this with the Piplup. We're going to go ahead and do it with a left-handed throw. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a berry. And then I am going to go ahead and pull that berry tray over with my right finger, keeping my right finger on the screen, wind up, and then whenever I'm ready, it's a little hard for my left hand, go ahead and throw that and release it. And you can just click out right away, or you can wait until the 3 tricks and then go ahead and click in that top left for that run button, and boom, you caught that guy and he is sitting in your bag. That little Piplup right there. So that is how you do it.
So the first thing we're going to do is take our non-throwing hand and we're going to place it on the tray ball. We're going to pull it over. Once we pull it over, we're going to take our other hand. So we have 2 hands on the screen and we're going to wind up and throw. Once that happens, we let go of the ball and the tray comes out as shown in the box. Once that tray is out and we hit the Pokemon, we then click on the screen outside of the tray, which will then close the tray. So once the tray is closed, we can now click run from this Pokemon, because the run button has now glitched and is still up in the top left. So we don't have to see the shake screen anymore. And once I clicked run, I then click on the Abra and boom, I have an error message. And some of you may be like, what does that mean, having an error message on the screen when you click on a Pokemon? Did it despawn? The answer is, let's check our bag. Boom, that Abra is now in our bag so that we have him. And we did not have to watch the shake, 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 catch, then click OK type screen. So watch this in fast motion. This is real speed. Gonna go ahead and hit that Paris, click out. Gonna hold down on the ball tray, pull it over, throw it at the Ghastly, click out, run, and then go on to my next Pokemon. I'm gonna go ahead and use this for an Ultra Ball. Pull over, click out. So this is real speed of how quickly I can catch these Pokemon. And I will show you in a second what my bag looks like. So here we go again. We're gonna hold the non-throwing thumb on the ball tray, let it go. As you throw, after you throw it, once you hit the Pokemon. And some of you guys may want to watch this again just to make sure that you get the initial part. And as you see me click on these guys, those guys have already been caught. As you'll see in 1 second, there was a Nidoran here that I did not get. Boom, all gone. And there it is, each one of those Pokemon sitting in my bag. At that speed, you can encounter an incredible amount of shinies and candy all at the same time without having to compromise. So thank you guys for tuning in, all my likers, commenters, subscribers, and Patreon members for taking their subscriptions to the next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on that next video. Peace!
I just want to take a moment and sincerely thank all of my Patreon members, everybody that has taken their subscription to the next level and chosen to support me on this platform. I greatly appreciate you guys. As a growing channel and really trying to grow and improve as much as I possibly can, I really appreciate the extra support. You guys mean the absolute world to me. I cannot wait to connect with you soon, and I appreciate you guys all for being a part of the Trainer Club. I will see you guys out on the next video.